Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Let's turn that down a little bit. There we go. How's everyone doing tonight? Excalibur, it's good to see you here. Glad to have you in the live stream, as always. All right, let's wait for a couple more people to join in before we kick things off. Plans for the stream today is we're going to be building a replica of the new Glen. I was originally going to play Kerbal Space Program campaign mode, and I was sitting there before the stream, getting everything set up, and I was trying to load Kerbal Space Program, and my computer can run Kerbal Space Program, no problem, highest settings. But as I was trying to open Kerbal Space Program, it was like not loading, or it was really, really slow. And I opened up my task manager, and all of my resources, like my memory, was pegged out at 100%. So apparently I don't have enough RAM to run Kerbal Space Program and the streaming software and other stuff that I use during these live streams. So we're not going to do Kerbal Space Program till I can upgrade my computer to handle it, unfortunately, because I was looking forward to doing that. But Kerbal Space Program is great and all. SimpleRockets 2 is my bread and butter, so we're coming back to the basics. We're going to be doing another stream on SimpleRockets 2, and we're going to be building the new Glen rocket from Blue Origin, which is a massive conceptual rocket. It's in development yet, hasn't actually been developed yet, so I hesitate to call it a massive rocket yet because it doesn't exist yet fully. But we're going to be building a model of that today in real solar system. So let's get it kicked off here. I'm trying to look up the dimensions for this rocket, how big it is. Oh, it's a big boy. All right, let's kick this off. So what we're just gonna do command chip. That's great. Set it as the primary. Throw this trash away. Let's zoom in on our command chip here. Let's do our second stage first, I guess. And that second stage is 23.4 meters long. So we're just gonna shoot at 23 meters. It's not gonna be perfect replica, but it's gonna be pretty close. What's the diameter? 7 meters diameter. That's big. That is a big tank. So we do 7. Woo. All right. It is 7 meters by 23 meters. So that is this tank right here, and that's a big tank. That tank is the second stage of the rocket, which is that's huge. That's huge. Do I think building the Starship second stage or the new Glen's harder? From like just building it in Kerbal Space Program, which one's harder? I'd probably say Starship. A little bit more going on there. I've not tried to build the new Glen before, so this is going to be a learning experience. I've got I have a web page here pulled up with it, so I'm looking at that as I go. And I'm not sure how. So that's the booster. I wish there was like more technical images they had released on how this is all supposed to sit together. Let's build the first stage before we try getting into the minutia of it. Let's throw our inner stage on there. That's there. That's great. And then we've got our first stage tank. So that's a tank right there, and it needs to be 57.5 meters. Wow. That's tall. That is a tall rocket. Okay. Resize tool. What's the biggest? Can I go to 57? I can go to 50. It caps out at 50 meters. Okay. Let's add another tank. Add another tank to this. And this one, we'll make it 3.5 meters. No, let's make it the full 57.5 meters. Okay. So this is the rocket as it stands. The one thing I don't know is, does the second stage include like the fairing and payload area as well? When it says that the second stage is, so big. Let's see, size. Okay, first stage. Okay, here we go. The tank section is only 16.1 meters. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. 16. We'll go 16 meters. That's a little bit more reasonable. I only say a little bit more reasonable. That's still freaking huge. Yeah, sheesh. I mean, that is a big boy. That ate its Wheaties for sure. So that's where we're starting with, is just the general shape of the tanks. Now I want to look at. Oh, here's a good picture of the second stage. So we've got two engines on like a truss here. Okay. And then the fairings. And how long are the fairings? 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-meter long fairings section. If I attach a fairing here, take it out to 3.5. And it was how long? How long did I just say it was? 16.1 minus 23.4 minus 16.1. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we'll say it's 7 meters long. So we'll do 4 meter long, and then the nose will be 3 meters long. That doesn't look right. That can't be right. Oh, no, it isn't right. No. Okay, 16.1 meter long tank, 23.4 meters total, including the two high expansion ratio nozzle BE3Us. Okay, so that is different. How long? Let's look at New Glen fairing dimensions. We're doing some research for this one, guys. Fairing itself is 7 meters in diameter. That's not what I needed to know. I need to know the length. The length of the fairing, please. Somebody. New Glen fairing length. That's the radius still. Okay, you know what? We're just going to go. They said 7 meters. Let's just say 7 meters. And then what's this? We'll make this 8 meters. I guess we'll just go with that for now, because it doesn't give me any hard number on how big the fairings actually are supposed to be. Yeah, you can't see the web page. I could set it up. I'm just like tabbing back and forth between the web pages here. I wasn't trying to show you guys the web page. If you would like for me to show you the web page, I could, but I wasn't. I'm just like pulling that up real quick as a reference. Just looking at like Wikipedia numbers here. It's nothing interesting. You could Google New Glen dimensions, and you'd be looking at exactly what I'm looking. And actually, if you want to Google any information on this rocket and then share it with me, that would be awesome. Always looking for help. Never hurts to get some help. In the meantime, let's design the base of this rocket, or the base of the second stage, and then we'll move on to our first stage. I want to make that 0. 180. Yes, there we go. Put that there. Thank you. Wait, can I... Does this work? Yes, it does. Excellent. Okay. Fuel line enabled on that strut. So that strut will be our structural connection there. That will be the bottom of our rocket stage right there. We'll also auto resize. Click that in. Nope. Auto resize off. There we go. Click that in one click like that. Perfect. Okay. Now let's work on the engine. So we need... how's the best way to do this? Maybe like another truss, or ooh, actually we could do like that. Shrink that down. Shrink that down. Put that there. Shrink that down some more. Okay, now expand it, and then put like on the end of it maybe. No, that's not going to work. Or you know what we could do? What would be better is to do just the fuel adapter right to the fuel tank. And then we can just rotate those around. Now we need the engines, and they're liquid hydrogen and oxygen. I know that. Where was that picture I had of them? They're like really big expansion nozzle engines. Where's the Wikipedia page? First page, BE4. BE3U. Let's look at the BE3U engine. Liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen, rocket engines. What kind of stage? Combustion tap off. Expand. Okay, so it's an expander engine. We've got expander engines. And it's an expanded bleeder engine. So I think open expander is the one we want. We're going to go with just the bell nozzle. And I'm going to do no texture for that. Huge nozzle length, though. Swing that around right there. Okay, now if we copy and paste this, I should be able to, yes, attach it just like that. And then let's click this 1, 2, in like that. 1, 2, in like that. Perfect. Okay, so that's kind of the start. These need to be bigger, though. Let's move them up to 120% size and see how that works. Liquid methane, and now we need liquid hydrogen. Boom, liquid hydrogen. That's liquid hydrogen. Gonna have to manually select the fuels for these. Boom. Okay, liquid hydrogen. All those are liquid hydrogen. That's good. Actually, let's part connect this. Where is this connected to the strut? Can we connect this directly to the fuel tank? No. Can we do that? Is that allowed? Does that work? And maybe tuck this in. Just to simplify the part count here, but have that sitting like that. That might actually look better. And then let's do hexagon, texture, silver it, like that. That might, you know what, that might be the best thing we can do right now. And I'm going to do a 0.1 scale and move it so that those are hidden. Why is that? Where'd the other one go? That's weird. Okay, hold on. 1, 2. That looks pretty symmetrical. Okay, so that's the second stage, and that looks pretty good. I'll say that looks pretty good. Let's look at the chat here. Don't have to. If it's a pain to set up, no worries. Yeah. Whoa, my new video already got 28 views. Congratulations, Excalibur. That's exciting. I definitely know that it's like it really does feel good when your videos start being watched by people. So congratulations. I'm excited for you. That is awesome, man. Where were we at now? I need a fuel tank that I can actually connect this too. So I'm just going to use this as like a structural component here. Oop, that was not what I wanted to do. Hold on. Auto resize off on both of these. Okay, now this needs to be like 5 meters long. Does that clip? Nope, it doesn't. Perfect. And then what we can do is we can scoot this up to about there. Engines. The engines are clipping, so we'll bring that down to... The stream seems oddly quiet tonight. Is it quiet like my voice is quiet? Like the audio is just quiet? I can adjust that. It says my audio is coming through pretty clear. Or is like the game volume quiet? Is that the thing? Or is it like background noise quiet? Whatever, whichever one it is, let me know. In the meantime, while you're typing that out or thinking about that, let's think about what we want to work on next. So we've got the second stage kind of figured out. I could test that out if I wanted to. Oh, maybe we should probably look at the performance of that. Probably should look at the performance of that, see if we're actually getting the right amount of performance here. Let's look at our performance analyzer. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hold on. That's an issue. Why is that only 10 meters per second? Where's the rest of the fuel? Fuel line. Hey, there we go. Okay, 8,070 meters per second. That's a lot better for a second stage engine. Cool. And what's our thrust to weight ratio with it right now? 0.66. That's actually not too bad. That's really not too bad, all things considered. We can do that for now. I'm not really trying to do anything super fancy with this here. Maybe scoot that down a little bit if we wanted to. Yeah, that looks fine. We could do that. Scoot that up. There we go. Perfect. Now let's look at the first stage because we need to get those first stage engines. So we looked at the BU3 engines or the BE3U engines. That's what they're called. Now we need to look at the BE4 engines and see what we need to put on these. So BE4 engines are liquid oxygen, liquid methane. They are what kind of fuel cycle? What kind of fuel cycle are these guys? It doesn't say here on Wikipedia. Staged combustion. Perfect. And how many engines does the first stage have? 7 of these engines. Well, that's perfect. 7 is a perfect number for SimpleRockets 2 engines because I can do 6-way symmetry with one in the middle and get 7 engines super easily. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to spin these guys down like that. Like that. There we go. And scoot them in. Scoot them down. Scoot them up. And in. There we go. Maybe down one click. Okay, now we've got that in position. Let's place our engines on them. Those are far too large. Those are fuel-rich stage. Are these fuel or oxygen-rich stage? I'm going to guess they're fuel-rich. BE4 engines. What are the BE4 engines? Are they fuel or oxidizer-rich staged? Wikipedia does not specify exactly. Let's see. Which one has the higher efficiency? We'll just go with whichever one has the higher ISP. Fuel rich has the higher ISP. All right, good to know. So we'll go with fuel rich stage. Bring these down to 120. That's still too big. Bring it down to 100. A hundo. That's more reasonable size. Add one in the middle. And these need to be... Oh, wait. Do I not get a say if it's fuel rich? Okay. We'll go oxidizer rich then, so that I can actually say what I want the fuel type to be. That's fine. We'll just do that. And we'll scoot them inwards a little bit more, so they're a little better clustered in there. What else should we add? What else should we add? Winter Fox, hello. Welcome to the stream. Oh, there's no people. Yeah, well, I would bet it's a little close to Christmas time, and people probably just aren't coming in. I also didn't post this to the Simple Rockets chat. I should. Hold on. You know what? We're going to take a very short. I'm not going to stop streaming, but we're just going to take a moment here, and I'm going to post this link to the Simple Rockets chat because I want to make sure people are actually seeing the stream. It'd be a shame if they weren't.
Keep the tradition alive.
That. Go away. Sorry for the ad there. That's my bad. Freaking YouTube ads. Can you imagine YouTube ads on a YouTube channel? Wow. Anyway, I'm going to pull up Discord here. We'll post that in the chat, but I'm not going to stop building because nothing will stop me from building this rocket. I want to build a skirt because I'm pretty sure the new Glen skirt covers the engines entirely, like that. And that looks pretty good, actually. Just like that. That's a rocket. That's a pretty good looking rocket. There's a couple of things we're missing. We need those big wings on the sides. So let's grab the wing part here. 90 degrees. Give me 90. There we go. We've got 90 degrees. Okay, now we need to... Let's mirror that. And then can I get like a good... Yeah, right there. Okay. That's stretched down. That's stretched up. That's stretched in. Down. Up. Kind of like that. That's kind of what they look like, right? Get rid of the control surface. Yeah, I'm fairly certain that's what that's supposed to look like. Let me... One second. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Boom. Shared that. Publish it. Confirm. Boom. All right. Link's been shared to Simple Rockets chat. Hopefully some other people will come join in on the fun. In the meantime, let's look at these engines. We're not going to do Grooves 1. We'll do Grooves 2. That looks pretty good. And what else should we do? We've got our 2 upper stage engines. We've got our fairings. Yeah, that's a pretty good starting point. Let's pull up test weight. Because I have some handy dandy little test weights that we can use for these rockets to see what their payload capacity is. Let me pull that up. Get rid of the fairing here. Can I just add an interstage directly to this? No, I can't. I've got to add another fuel tank. Hold on. I'm going to copy that, shrink that down all the way. Can I add it to the top, please? Please, can I add it to the top? Thank you. Not what I wanted. Don't auto resize, please. Just sit right there. Wait, that, then that, then that. Okay, perfect. That's all well and good. Let me get these to go away now. But now I have my interstage here. We'll shrink that down. And I want to add a test weight. So I've got my large calibrated test weight here. And what this calibrated test weight is, it's very specific dimensions. And I made these a while back. They're on the SimpleRockets website. But what I can do is, you see it's right now part scale 100%, mass 2,000 kilograms. I can move this slider. Whoops, not the part scale slider, my bad. I can move this mass scale slider up, and it goes up by 2,000 pound increments. So let's start with, I feel like a good starting point is going to be 40,000 kilograms. I feel like 40,000 kilograms is a pretty reasonable starting point for the mass of our payload here. What do you guys think? 40,000 kilograms? Should I go heavier? Should I go big or go home on this one? I think 40,000 is pretty good. I really don't think it's going to be able to do a ton more than 40,000. Real solar system's a bit tricky. I think I have realistic engine overhaul on, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll see about that. Oh, there is one other thing that we're forgetting with the new Glen rocket design, and it's the landing legs. Because it does have landing legs. I keep forgetting about that. Let me see if I can get a good image of this landing leg design. Is the base on the thing flared? Does it have a flared base? Did I totally miss that? Oh, it does, doesn't it? Okay, we got to change that. Let's go back here. Yeah, we gotta adjust that. And the fins go above that flared base. So this needs to be higher. We're a little inaccurate here. Hold on. Let's make these black. Not that black, though. Like that black. Does that make it any better? Okay, we'll do that for now. How wide is that base, though? It doesn't really specify. I could just make this part wider. 4 meters. Oh, that kind of does it. That kind of makes it look right. Yeah, not too many things. Like, yeah, there's no way. 40,000 tons is a ton of mass for space. It's like space flight considerations. Um, I guess there is like a little blue band there. Now I'm kind of looking at the aesthetics now, trying to make sure that I got pretty close. Hold on, we're gonna make one little adjustment here. Connect, please. Thank you. And shift this guy up. Shift him up there, but then we're gonna bring him back down actually. And actually, maybe make him a little bigger too, because I think he's maybe a little too small. There we go. That looks better. And then I want to use the blue band there. Where else is it blue? Because like New Glenn is kind of bluish, right? It's got blue accents. It's got blue coloration on it randomly. Where's that picture I had pulled up? Images. I see a bunch of concept photos with white fairings. I see some concept photos with silver fairings. I like the silver fairing. Let's do the silver fairing. I like that look. Oh, and we've missed the 4 upper stabilizing fins. We got to do those. We have to do those. Okay, let's start with the silver fairings. Hello, let me. Por favor. Hello, is that? Oh wait. There we go. Now will you let me paint you, please? Yes. Okay, so that's the fairing. Is that still too short? Because I'm looking at these images. Those fairings are pretty long. No, that's about right. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, and then we need the upper control fins, we'll call them, which they will sit kind of right here. $180. There we go. And we'll do 4-way symmetry for those. Boom. We got our 4-way symmetry for our upper fins. And let me look back at that image. Any like specific details? No, it's about that shape. Maybe a little bit more like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, you know what? That looks all in all pretty good. Let's check our staging. As always, make sure we have this right. 13 kilometers per second with a huge payload. 1.7 thrust to weight ratio on the pad. These engines are a little small though. I think we can scale these up now. I think it's safe to scale these up. Because I forgot this was wider. So let's make these bigger. Let's take this out to 120. Yeah, 120. Boom. Love it. And then shrink. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. And then bring this guy all the way down so it's flush. Okay. And then, oh, one more thing I want to do is I want to get the seamless edge going on all of this. Makes it look a whole lot smoother doing the seamless edge. Whoa. Undo that. Didn't mean to do that. Pardon me. Okay. How does that look? That looks pretty good. It's a little, you know what? It's a little That should be just a little bit glossier, though. Let's try it. Let's launch it. Let's choose our launch location. I think that should be fine. 39A. Let's see if it crashes. My fear now is that we've built it and it looks great, and it's going to just explode on the launch pad. Yeah. Raphael says, yeah, yay, New Glenn, the futuristic rocket that is probably not going to launch till God knows when. Unfortunately, you're most likely correct. It's going to be a little while. Something broke there. Everything broke there. All right, the whole rocket exploded. We've got a failure on the launch pad. Mark, welcome to the live stream. Good to see you here. I am building the New Glenn, and I'm realizing we need a launch structure. So that's what we're going to do next. This thing is huge. This thing is freaking huge. Holy cow. All right, what do we need? We need side detachers. That's the first thing we need. We'll attach them at like a 45-degree angle. Yeah, that was actually... It actually wasn't unexpected. That's the thing. I kind of knew it was going to explode on the launch pad. I kind of knew we were going to need some equipment here to hold it up. That was like the least surprising thing to happen so far. So what I'm going to do is build like these little kind of support structures here. And all they're going to do is hold the rocket up, and then this will be pretty lightweight, but I'm going to put a hinge on the bottom of this. Or no, first I'm going to put another fuel tank here. Shorter. Now I'm going to add a hinge to this fuel tank. Right there. We're going to set it to floppy. Then I'm... Oh. Nope. What are you doing? Excuse me. Is that connecting properly? I guess it is. Ah, no, it's not. It's not connecting properly because that shouldn't happen. How about now? Yes. Okay, now it's connecting properly. Yeah, I'm basically building a launch tower, a hold down clamp. We're going to mass scale this thing to be way heavier than it needs to be, though. And we're also going to make it a rectangle. And we'll do 8 by 12. 8 by 12, and we'll do 2 meters long. I'm going to rotate this guy this way. Okay, and then what we're going to do is 4-way symmetry this part right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no. Oh, no. If you guys can't see what... Whoops, I forgot about that. Ah, that's a bad look right there. Don't avert your eyes, please. I have accidentally created something awful. That's a bad look. That's going to get this whole channel shut down. If you saw it, if you saw that and you knew what that looked like, shame on you. Yeah, oh no. That's not right. We're going to get rid of that real quick. That is not what we want that to look like. I was hoping they would just go sideways. But yeah, that didn't do it. Don't forget to add more boosters. I don't think we need more boosters. We have a lot of lifting force on this. So we've got 4 inner stages. I'm actually going to flip the order on this. Actually, no. What's our delta V? 12.9. That's still pretty good. 2.42 meter or 2.42 thrust to weight ratio, which is really good. A lot of delta V on the stage. Really good performance. We're going to put that here though in the launch order, and then we have 2 inner stages. We should only have 1 here. Going to add that to the top. 2 engines. Bearing base goes here, so that'll separate here. And those engines will light there. All right, Raphael, why do we need more boosters for this New Glenn rocket here? Okay, we're gonna test it out. While you type up your answer, I'm gonna test this out again. After I enjoy a sip from this refreshing beverage. And we'll time warp to daytime. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful day. Okay. Throttle up. Because why not? There you go. That's a good enough reason, I suppose. Light the engines. And oh, I forgot another little nuance to the realistic engine overhauls. You have to have batteries, and I forgot you have to have batteries. And oh, and we didn't even put any like RCS system, no control system on this at all. I am honestly shocked you guys were going to let me launch that rocket. How dare you guys not stop me from launching that rocket? You guys really are, you're not pulling your weight here. You need to be catching these mistakes that I am making continuously throughout these live streams, guys. Come on. A little bit of accountability here would be nice. Yeah, it is 7 meters in diameter. These are as close to the actual dimensions of New Gled as I'm willing to get right now. And it's freaking huge. This is a big boy. All right, we'll let this one be our battery. Battery, there we go. And I don't care how those look because they're inside the rocket. How does that change our performance? Adding all that extra weight. Auto stage, thank you so much for your service. Okay, so we've got engines. Engines light, and then the docking clamps release. And then we interstage, fairing base. Okay, second stage, interstage, and the engines light. And then our upper stage fires for a total of a lot of thrust. And if we do that, 9,066.1. Yeah, no, it's 7 meters in diameter, or 7 meters in diameter, 3.5 meters in radius. This rocket is fairly large. Let's make these batteries way smaller. These are obnoxiously large. That's more reasonable. Even this is a little big for what we're trying to do here. Okay, that's more reasonable. What's our performance now? Still lower. Considerably lower. Okay, let's take just a little bit of weight off this test weight here. Go to our tinker panel. How does that change it? Still pretty good. Still pretty good. You know what? Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's see what we've got here, and then we can make little adjustments if we need to later. We're half an hour into the live stream, and we're already pretty close to a fully flyable model here. I'm pretty happy with how this is going. Whoa, whoa, except I'm time warping too fast. There we go. Okay, throttle up. The staging is all fucked here. Ha! Got it anyway. Woo! Look at that. Look at that. That's a lot of power right there. That is a lot of thrust. That is a big freaking rocket, dude. Why does my mustache look like a Hitler and Stalin hybrid? Well, okay, so there's two reasons for that. So Hitler's mustache was very narrow, right? Stalin's mustache was very wide. So literally speaking, yes, it is a hybrid because it's between those two lengths. The actual reason why my mustache is that length in particular is because I'm in the Navy, and we have a grooming standard on how wide our mustache can be, and I can't have it any farther out here, so I have to shave the edges off this guy like every other day to stay within uniform standards. I used to have it actually a little farther out, and it looked pretty nice, and then someone was like, dude, you gotta shave your mustache, that's out of regs. So here I am with a kind of Stalin-ish mustache. But it's okay. Stalin had an excellent mustache. He just had really bad economic ideas. And this is going really well. We're my launch profile is all fucked up right now, and we've got way too much thrust to weight ratio. I'm gonna way throttle down here. We do not need to be thrusting quite that hard. There we go. That's a little bit more reasonable. Oh man, you know what? I've not really looked at Blue Origin's rockets a whole lot. What is the reasoning behind the mustache length? It's okay. So the general idea is anyone on a naval vessel has to be trained in damage control, which includes firefighting and disaster response. And one of the things that you have to do is you have to be able to don a breathing apparatus So we have these emergency breathing units and self-contained breathing SCBU, self-contained breathing units, and we'll do drills where you put them on, fasten the straps, secure it, check for a seal, and then you start breathing the supplied air, and you go and you fight a fire, or maybe it's a toxic gas leak, whatever the casualty is that you're fighting. But you have to have your oxygen supply situated first. And if your mustache is too long, the rubber seal that suctions your face and it keeps the oxygen in your mask will actually fail because the hairs will get in the way. And so you have to keep your mustache nice and trimmed, or you won't be able to. Yeah, it is the exact same reason pilots can't have beards. It's because their oxygen mask, which pilots' oxygen mask kind of looks like this. If you've ever seen fighter pilots, their oxygen mask kind of covers their nose, but their eyes are still visible. All right, let's see if our second stage engines have anything more to give us here. Throttle up all the way. Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous, guys. Yeah, makes sense. That's those the rules. There's a reason why we have them. Some people get no shave chits. So, like in the Navy, if you've got a chit, that's like a permission slip to do something. Some people will get no shave chits because they have really bad acne, which I think is kind of stupid. Like, so what? You have acne, you still need to be able to put your breathing apparatus on. Just because you have acne doesn't mean you can't like shave and have be ready to put on your firefighting gear and go fight a fire. So, aren't I missing some decals on the racket? You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth, boy. Wait, do I actually have? Hold on. Do I have a mod with those decals? Raphael, is there a mod on the SimpleRockets 2 website that has the Blue Origin feather? I could do the words, but I can do the words with just the stock because it says Blue Origin on the side of the rocket right there. I copy. Hold on. Let me see if I can't. Can I add a source to this stream and show you the image I'm looking at? Hold on. Let me download this image and I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. Save image as. That's fine. And then open this up. Add a source. Add a media file from the downloads. This guy. Okay, here we go. This is the image I'm basing the design off of. Yeah, so there's the huge feather. I'm not gonna try and do that manually. There's gotta be like there's gotta be like a way to do that. I could do the Blue Origin words. I'm not gonna be able to do that feather though. Might be able to do the American flag. Genox, who do you think has the better mustache, Hitler or Stalin? That's not even a question. Hitler's mustache was weird and small. Stalin had a great mustache. They're both terrible people, to be clear. Both terrible people. Don't like either of them. Genocidal maniacs to both of them. Tyrants, warmongers. Not fans of them. But Stalin had a dope mustache. So you just can't argue with the facts there. It was a pretty cool mustache. We're going to tweak these engines a little bit. We were getting maybe too much thrust out of these. Maybe too much thrust. 1.83 is pretty good for thrust to weight ratio. What's our new total? Why did you do that? There we go. There we go. Okay. So that gives us maybe like a couple hundred meters per second extra delta V total. Yeet the feather on there. Why would I do? I'm not doing the feather. We'll do the text. I'm not doing the feather. I can't. I'm not going to waste time trying to even think about how to do that, let alone do it. This needs to be some big text though. Can I tinker panel this? Part scale this up? Oh, that's maybe a little too big. Hold on. Let's make that wider. Wider, shorter. Okay. Blue Origin. Great. That font seems kind of lame. Robato's worse. None of these are really. Maybe this one. Just leave it as sample text. That'd be better, wouldn't it? Let's look at this image again. Let's like zoom in on this. Blue origin. It's really just like it's like Arial. Those boys really used Arial for their decals, huh? And let's rotate that around. Is that it? Like, is that all that we need to do there? That still looks, honestly, that looks garbage. That looks better. Let's do that. That's less disappointing of a of a decal. So we'll go with that. Radial symmetry, so it's on both sides. Okay. Rotate that around again, so it's lined up properly. Yeah, maybe not the most. Well, like, hold on. Let's be fair. Like, I am a big fan of SpaceX, and I think SpaceX is one just a lot more successful as a space company than Blue Origin. I think right now SpaceX leads the pack hand and foot over and over just every other space company there is right now. Not that there aren't other great competitors, but it's a monopoly, and SpaceX has Boardwalk, right? It's rough for competition unless you're SpaceX. If you're SpaceX, life is good. Blue, like any. That being said, all the other companies are still pretty awesome, and like people give Jeff Bezos shit. People give like the individuals behind these companies a lot of shit because I think people like to just gripe about I don't know gripe about how the rich are eating the wealth or whatever they want to say. The reality is like SpaceX and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all of Jeff Bezos's companies are a net positive. Not that there aren't some issues, but you know these companies are net positives to society. I really do believe that. Like the service that Amazon provides, people take for granted so much. Like how wild is it that I can order anything and it'll be at my house in 2 days? It's wild. Like you like say what you will about the people and what they own it. The reality is right is no one no one in this live stream has the pedigree to even try to criticize the people who run these companies, right? Not that they aren't above criticism, not that they shouldn't be criticized. I think there are things that Jeff Bezos does that are really shitty. I think there are things that Elon Musk does that really are shitty. But you can't take that away from their accomplishments. You can't take that away from the good that they're doing. And while I'm saying that, I am totally screwing up putting this fairing back on my rocket. There we go. Thank you. What do I think about NASA eating too much tax? NASA is a tiny, tiny, teeny, tiny fraction of our budget. So like the U.S. budget, we're just talking about NASA right now. The U.S. budget is like 60% welfare programs. The military makes up 10%, 15% of the budget. I'd have to look this up. It's actually, people think the military eats up most of the U.S. budget. The military is a relatively small portion of the U.S. budget. The largest portion goes to the executive branch. So, like your law enforcement agencies, FBI, CIA, and agencies like the Department of Energy use a lot of the budget. Department of Transportation is a huge portion of the budget. And then Department of Homeland, or not Department of Homeland, Department of Housing and Human Services, DHHS, they take up a large portion of the budget because they're responsible for a ton of the welfare programs. And it is a huge portion of the budget is in welfare programs. So let me U.S. federal budget. Let me find a good graph here. Okay, so there's like three categories for U.S. spending. There's mandatory spending, discretionary spending, and net spending, which the net spending is like 8%. It's small. Mandatory spending is 62%, and that's a lot. That's like 2/3 of it is mandatory, 30% is discretionary. So the 30%, the 1/3 of the budget, is where the military's budget falls in, and the military budget is a small portion of the discretionary spending. So let's see. Defense is. Oh, can I not look at this? I want to look at this. It's got the percentage right there. Defense is 3.4% of GDP. So we spend 3.4% of our gross domestic product on just defense, which is 3.4% is not a lot. Not a lot. We're actually underfunded for the operations we're doing. It's a little bit different from reality from what people think it is. So it's something to do research on, because a lot of people will cite like, oh, the US military spends 50% of its budget. No, it's 50% of discretionary spending, which is a lot smaller portion of the budget. It's like 15% of the budget. Raphael, why do I feel like that fairing is different from the pick? Like you made it shorter. I think it is shorter considerably. Let's do that. Let's fix that. This needs to be longer. It needs to be considerably longer here. And then let's get this thing on the launch pad for real. I want to see this. I want to put a decent sized payload on this guy. We could launch a space station with it, honestly, with 40,000 pounds of payload capacity here. Whoa, that... Should we launch it like this, guys? That is a 50-meter long fairing. That's a little big, isn't it? That might be a little too big. Let's... Okay. Oh... That's too big. All right. What is the LEO of the rocket? I don't know yet. We tested that last launch with like 33,000. This is real solar system, so it's a little bit different from regular SimpleRockets 2. If I built a rocket this size in regular SimpleRockets 2, it would launch a crazy amount. Jesus Christ. What is this? All right, this is the Blue Origin New Glenn XXL version. So we're going to light this candle and see what it's got. I want to zoom in on the engine here too. Can I set my camera to focus on this part? There we go. Please, I beg you, don't put that fairing on there. Too late. Light the engines. Separate. Ah, the separators fall away beautifully. And we are off. The fairing is the cargo now. Yeah, that's a bit much. Wow. Alright, that's a rocket right there. Alright, I need to get a screenshot of this. I'll get a screenshot of this. This will be the thumbnail. Extra, extra long. When is the next Visi for Dummies? You know what? I'm actually on leave right now for the next 2 weeks for the holidays, so I will have a decent amount of time this week to work on some videos. And one of the videos I plan on doing is going to be the next Visi for Dummies. So we did a general intro in the last one. We talked about loops in the second one. This next one, I want to talk about variables and like how to use variables in Visi, because I feel like that's a foundational key. And then after we talk about variables, I think the next like topic that I'm going to move on to is really going to be focused on like practical applications of Visi. So we're going to move away from like how get back up there. Get back up there. Hold on. All right. Throttle down. We're good. I don't want to focus on that anymore. Can I focus on this now? Yes, there we go. Now we're like centered on the rocket. Anyway, yeah, we're going to do a video explaining how variables work, because that's like another like keystone to being able to understand and write programs and software in general. And then once we do that, I'm going to move on to stuff like landing scripts, launch scripts, just like doing a little bit of work on the basics. Raphael, don't you think you should work on that separator? I mean, make the separating transition smoother, or maybe leave it. I like that. I don't care. Or leave it like that. I don't care. Yeah, we'll see. This is very, very much so a rough prototype. We have like barely looked at this. Are we out of the atmosphere? We are. Goodbye, mega fairings. I think those separated pretty cleanly. I'm surprised. How many parts was on this thing? Not too many parts. I was trying to keep the part count low. And then CTSFO. Did you see the new SFS update? I did. And I'm actually planning on doing a video on that this week as well, because that's something I wanted to talk about. Because it's a pretty cool update from what I've seen. All right, stage separation. That looks pretty good. I don't know. That stage separation seems pretty good. Yeah, the new re-entry update. So they added re-entry effects, and honestly, from seeing the promotional stuff for that update, I like the new re-entry effects, the like heat damage stuff. It looks way better than SimpleRockets re-entry effects. Like way better. I like their re-entry effects a lot better than I like SimpleRockets, which I don't say that lightly because I'm biased towards SimpleRockets. I would love to see Jundru make the SimpleRockets re-entry effects kind of match what Spaceflight Simulator's done because they just look good. They look really good. And I'm not going to be able to hit. I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to point up a little bit here to keep my apoapsis from dropping. And we're time warping here. Just trying to get into orbit here. I've got 4,000 meters per second of delta V. That should be enough. Problem is I can't burn it fast enough. What I'm more excited about, now that we're talking about updates to our favorite space games, is I don't know if you guys have seen it though, but there was a forum post on the SimpleRockets 2 website by Andrew Garrison. Actually, you know what? Let me pull that up. Let me read that to you guys because that's an exciting little piece of news that got posted. Content. Oh, you know what? Let me pull it up in here because I think it was in the news. Doop 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 doop. Future plans for SimpleRockets 2. Yes, take me to that link. Oh, 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 oh. Point the nose up, please. Point the nose up, please. Thank you. It's a good thing we have all this extra altitude because we're kind of falling here. Andrew Garrison made a post to SimpleRockets 2 forums, and I'm trying to pull it up and read it to you guys because it's talking about some future plans for SimpleRockets 2. All right, here it is. This is Andrew Garrison. He posted this 4 days ago, and it says, "First, I just want to apologize to the community." And hold on. Oh, we're in orbit. Okay. Everyone watch this while I read. First, I just want to apologize to the community for disappearing into a black hole these past few months. We've been incredibly busy with Simple Planes VR and have been crunching to get it ready before Christmas. This turned out to be an enormous effort, far greater than any of us expected. Fortunately, we were able to get it done, and Simple Planes VR is launching Friday. After the new year, after ensuring SPVR development is running smoothly, some of us will return to SR2, and we're going to start with a small bug fix update. After that, we will resume career mode and localization updates. If plans change, I promise to do a better job communicating with the community. So they are going to be working on, or they're taking a break, which, yep, makes sense. I would want to take a break around this time too. And then they're going to be moving on to SimpleRockets 2 as like the primary focus. So there's not been a lot of updates to SimpleRockets 2 because they've been trying to push out Simple Planes VR, which makes sense. You know, that's kind of that was what they were focusing on for a while. But now that they're back on SimpleRockets 2, the campaign mode, everyone, it is coming. The campaign mode is coming. And that's an ungodly amount of debris I have. That's not debris. That is a satellite swarm, sort of. It's kind of clumsy. I did a somewhat bad job actually deploying that. So this is debris. This now is debris right here. But we're going to end this flight and undo an exit because that was just a test wait. We're going to actually launch a real payload this time, and it's going to be we're just going to launch a whole space station all at once with this guy. That's the plan here. So what do we need? What do we need to do? One, we need to reduce the fairings to be a normal thing again. I think we were going to set that to 12. Maybe even 15. How long is this? Let's do 8. Okay. That looks better. That looks better as a fairing. Bottom. Top. There we go. Connect. Thank you. Connects. Okay. Fairings connect properly. That was with 38,000 kilograms. We could do one more test launch to see what our actual payload capacity is. Yeah, you know what? Let's do one more quick test launch. I'm going to scale this up. Let's do 56,000 kilograms and see if we can get that into space. Because these test launches don't take long now that we've got it pretty much ironed out. Yep, made the nose coast launcher. Did Elon Musk test his Starlink satellites on your world? No, that was my own launch right there. All right, let's slow down, throttle up, acquire our target, light our engines, separate. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, I need to leave just a little bit more time to throttle the engines up before I separate there. Okay, we are going up. Yeah, so I extended the nose cone out a little bit. I think we're going to leave it there. The nose cone in the promotional pictures they've released isn't too pointy. I think it's fine. I just made it longer. Or wait, your chats might be a little delayed to the stream, so I'm going to assume that you guys are typing that in before I did that. Anyway, as I was saying beforehand, before we tested this launch vehicle again, yeah, campaign mode's coming. That's the third video I wanted to do this week, was a breakdown on what my expectations were for campaign mode. I've got some high hopes for it. I really do. I really think it's going to be a lot more awesome than even people are expecting it to be now. I have some really high hopes. Yeah, there's always a day, and I've got this in the stream settings. I'm pretty sure I set this to normal latency because I didn't want to overtax my my software. Why is the chat delayed? It's because I want the stream to be stable. That's why. Okay, are we high enough? Yes, we are. Let's throttle down some more. Keep my thrust to weight ratio nice and normal. And I think we can go pretty much horizontal now. Throttle up all the way. Bearings deploy. Second stage go. All right. We'll just follow this guy out. Alrighty. Actually, no. I wanna burn horizontal right now. No, I don't. No, I don't. We're gonna fall. Slightly vertical. I think this is gonna get in orbit. I think I've got the Delta V for it. We're at 3,000 meters per second. Just joined. What are we doing? We're building a new Glen. The new Glen from Blue Origin. So you can see here, Blue Origin right there. Why is the second stage engines different colors? So the new Glen uses a Methalox first stage and a Hydrolox second stage. So this is a Hydrolox, and we're using Realistic Engine Overhaul, which changes the engines, the performances, and the exhaust colors a little bit. Hey, aren't you supposed to land that booster back on Earth? Yeah, look, it landed right there. There it is. It's on the ground right there. See? It's on the ground. It landed. Although we are failing to get this payload into orbit. We are falling. Shoot. Okay, so this. All right. So what was the payload we just launched? That's too heavy. This is above our capacity to orbit. This payload right here. Oh, too close. 56,000 kilograms is too heavy. Let's try 44,000 kilograms. Yeah, it's in an uncontrolled descent. It's semi-controlled. It's semi-controlled. Come on, guys. Take it easy on me here. I'm not going to spend the time it would take to get a proper, like, recoverable booster here right now. No crash. Please don't crash. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I'm not taking the time that it would take to build a fully recoverable booster right now. That would probably take about 8 to 10 hours of time to work out and fully get it working, and then to automate it. And I don't intend to take this live stream much more than another half hour. So yeah, if one part's still on there, technically it's a landing. So we are going up. Keep the throttle lowish. And so as we're accelerating here, as we're getting higher up in the atmosphere, we're burning fuel and our thrust to weight ratio is getting higher. So what we're trying to do is back off our throttle to keep it around a thrust to weight ratio of 2. Have I ever made an automatic landing script before? I have. It wasn't like a full automated landing script. It just controlled. Basically, what it did is it like past a certain point, like you'd fly manually, and then you would enable it at like the last 2 minutes of the landing. You would enable this program, and what it would do is it would keep your thrust to weight ratio at 1. Um, and so by keeping a thrust to weight ratio of 1, you're exactly canceling out your acceleration from gravity, so you maintain a constant speed. So if you're like, let's say you're doing the landing and you get your rocket down to like 5 meters per second, enable the program, and it's just going to hold your velocity at 5 meters per second the rest of the descent. So that was my attempt at a landing script, and it worked. It worked pretty well. I was very happy with it, all things considered. We're gonna burn horizontal now because I just realized I was burning vertical for too long. I wasn't following my prograde. So we'll do this. Deploy those fairings. They separated cleanly. What are my system specs? I don't have them in front of me. I'm running like a mid-range gaming computer right now. I built this machine for 650 when it was all said and done. So not the greatest, but they're not bad. But definitely not the most impressive machine. Okay, second stage going. All right, we should be able to get this into orbit. If we can get this in orbit, then we'll launch our space station, and then we will call it for the stream. But this is looking really good so far. I'm very happy with how this is going. No, nothing too crazy. No, like real issues here. We're looking good. Yeah, we're looking good. All right. On like the final leg of this launch here, I'm gonna point my orbital velocity vector. Scroll up. Scroll up. Keep it up. All right, keep my nose up here. We should be able to get into orbit from here. We got 2,600 meters per second left of delta V in this stage and dropping. For any RTX users, is there a way to enable DirectX 12 on SR2? I have no idea. That's a good question. Maybe look up Stack Overflow, see if anyone there knows, or like any like the PC help subreddits are probably a good place to ask, kind of share their knowledge. But I have no idea on what you can do in that regard. Is it possible to load a craft beyond the physics range? No, it is not. You can extend, I think in the settings now, you can extend the physics range, but it's somewhat limited, and we just ran out of fuel. Dang it. All right, so that's still not enough. What is orbital velocity here? I thought we were pretty close. That's a bummer. All right, whatever. So we have to keep our rocket lighter than, we have to keep our station payload lighter than that. What is this set to right now? 44,000 kilograms. Okay. So our space station has to be less than 44,000 kilograms. I have DirectX 12, but I don't know how it helps in SR2. Yeah, I'm not sure if SimpleRockets 2 has any features that support it at the moment. So that's a good question, but I just don't know the answer there. Let's shape edit this. We'll do a 2 meters here at the smaller radius, and then let's do, yeah, we'll do 4 meters, but then we'll make this 2. Okay, that looks good for a start. Then I want to grab the tiles, and we'll do 12 and 12. So we've got like a well-tiled texture here. Copy and paste that. For this will be 6 meters long, and then another module here that'll be 2 meters long. Okay, so that's one module of our space station. Yeah, you can have I think the maximum, and I can actually show you in the settings here. Maximum physics range you can enable here. If you go to quality, I believe. LOD distance, no. Where is it? Physics? Is it LOD? No, here it is. Physics distance. So mine's set to 2 kilometers for performance considerations. I could bring this out. Bring this out to 5 kilometers. It doesn't really matter, especially I'm not doing anything where I'm using like a bunch of crafts in close proximity to each other, so it doesn't really matter. But you can have it out to 10 kilometers. Imagine if SR2 and Spaceflight Simulator combined, it wouldn't look that much different than SR2, right? Like there aren't any features that Spaceflight Simulator has that SimpleRockets 2 doesn't have. Spaceflight Simulator is a 2D lower resolution version of SimpleRockets 2. That's it, right? Like there's not a whole lot more you can do with that. They could add more parts maybe, but they don't have astronauts. There's really a ton that Spaceflight Simulator just doesn't have. So yeah, it's kind of like a not a dumb question, but it's kind of a moot point to ask which like what would be like if you combine the two because they're so similar. It just wouldn't really matter, I guess. I love Spaceflight Simulator, but it's just a more limited version of SimpleRockets 2 because it's 2D, and there's really nothing that like replacing being able to look at a planet like how to phrase this in Spaceflight Simulator, right? You can't see the planet unless you're on the planet. Um, if that makes sense, right? Like you can't zoom out and see the whole planet that you're approaching. In SimpleRockets 2, you can point the camera at the planet and see the planet you're looking at, right? Like you can fully see in its all its glory what you're looking at. And that is something Spaceflight Simulator literally will never be able to do because it's 2D. Which is, not to fault them. Like they would have to make a 3D game if they wanted that experience. There's literally no way they can get that. Excalibur, you actually make a great point. One of the things Spaceflight Simulator could and hasn't done, because it's just a one dude team, like no disrespect to Steph Morena, who's the developer of Spaceflight Simulator. The work he's doing is awesome. I can't do it, and so I'm certainly not gonna like talk bad about him because I couldn't do the stuff he's doing, right? But yeah, like Spaceflight Simulator is a one man team. It's pretty cool, and it deserves the publicity it gets. I really do believe that. I believe it deserves the attention that it's gotten, and I'm glad that it is getting a lot of attention because ultimately, these kind of games are what's going to inspire people to pursue careers in STEM, to pursue space exploration. Our generation is so influenced by games like Kerbal Space Program, games like SimpleRockets 2, games like Space Flight Simulator, because they're really teaching people, how to think and how to think about spaceflight like this, which we're just not going to see in any generation before us, right? So I'm very very happy with how Space Flight Simulator has gone. It's just not. It's just a mobile game, right? Like that's what it comes down to. SimpleRockets 2 is a PC game. Spaceflight Simulator is a mobile game, and there are certain technical obstacles that just aren't surmountable when it comes to stuff like that. So that's my 2 cents on it. I definitely have a preference for games. I've got a computer that can play SimpleRockets 2, and I will play Spaceflight Simulator on occasion because it's fun and it's nice to spice it up every once in a while. But I will never. My YouTube channel is never going to focus on Spaceflight Simulator because it's just not the best. It's not the best game. The only reason Spaceflight Simulator is more popular than SimpleRockets 2 is because it's a free mobile game, which is fine. Like I actually love the fact that it's free or like somewhat pay to play. like you do have to pay for the rest of the like the full parts and everything. You basically it's a free demo version, and you pay for the rest of the game, which is fine. That is a totally fine way to make your money. Simple Rockets 2 is not free, and that's also a totally fine way to handle it. But that's how I feel about it. That's all I'll say about it. In the meantime, we're working on this space station, and it's coming along quite nicely as I've been talking here. So we've got a main habitat module, which I'm going to empty of fuel because I don't need a ton of fuel in this guy, and that'd be crazy. I'd rather play SR2 or SFS on my phone than SR2. Yeah, if your phone can't handle it, then that makes sense. Spaceflight Simulator boots up quickly. It's fast. It runs well. It's a small, simple game. So yeah, it's going to perform better on a mobile device. I have a Moto G Power, and it runs SimpleRockets 2 pretty well. Like I've never had any real performance issues. I have to run it at a lower resolution, obviously, um, just because it's graphically my phone can't handle super crazy graphics, obviously. But I've never had any issue with it. And the Moto G Power was like the cheapest phone that I could find at Best Buy that day. So if like if my phone can handle it, just about any new smartphone, any smartphone within the past 2 or 3 years can run SimpleRockets 2 no issue. Is what I'm trying to say. All right, so we're gonna make this is gonna be like an instrument arm right here. We're gonna have this rotate down, and I'm gonna have little hyperbolic antennas on it. Is the plan, or like pseudo hyperbolic antennas? They're not really gonna be hyperbolic, but I'm gonna use these fairing dishes. What's heavier? Is a fairing dish heavier, or is an interstage gonna be heavier? 93, 104. I think the this guy's going to be lighter actually, so we'll use him. This is an inlet. We're going to call it hyperbolic antenna, and let's give it a different texture. Channels, yeah, channels looks pretty good. Let's do channels. I remember when Steph said there would only be one expansion, but now there's 4. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. He's going to keep. It's. I would tell you right now, it's because it's so popular, and he's realized, oh shoot, people really like this game, and a lot of people want me to continue to update it, and it's profitable, so I'm going to continue to work on it. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Guarantee you, that's the logic behind it for him, because like it's a business, and if it's not making money, then it's not worth it's not worth pursuing. But if it's making money, then it's worth pursuing. So guarantee you that's what his thought process is when it comes to that. All right, we're going to rotate. Nope, not rotate that. There we go. Actually, I want to pull that off. Copy that. Can I get this to stick on its side? No. I can rotate it though. Like that. And then this is the tricky part, right? Can I get... Nope. All right, short answer to that question is I can't. Oh, wait. That works. That sort of works, I should say. Let me rotate that around one more click. Right, we'll just do the key method. You have an older phone? Yes. If you've got an older phone, you're gonna have some performance issues. Which, I mean, like, what do you expect, right? Like, really, what do you expect? You've got a 3D physics rocket simulator where you can model an entire solar system and build and launch rockets in a 3D solar system and on a mobile game. It it is impressive that it exists at all, let alone that you can run it on run it on any mobile phone, let alone a high end one or a low end one. And mine's a relatively low end phone, so yeah, it'll just like if you frame it in the right context, it's amazing that it works at all. Is what I'm trying to say. All right, so these are going to be our RCS tanks for our space station. And how heavy is this guy? 3, 4, 6, 9. So we're looking at about 11,000 11,000 kilograms, 11 tons right now. That's not too bad, especially since this tank is way too big. Shrink it down. Shrink it down. We're going to go with insulation texture on this guy. And then I'm going to add these nose cones. Shrink it down. Shrink it down even more. 0.2. All right, let's get insulation going on that guy. And I need to copy this over to the bottom. 180. Boom. Perfect. Throw that on the bottom. And then these all need to have hydrazine monopropellant, which I will manually select here. Fuel it up. And then let's grab this. Part connections, turn them all off, turn this one on, and group it. That's important. So what I just did there is I made it to where the only part that actually connects on this thing is the center fuel tank, which makes it a lot easier. What am I working on today? Well, we built the new Glen from scratch, and now we're going to launch a single launch space station with it. So that's where we are right now. So I'm just adding some details to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 4-way symmetry. Got that. Let's add our RCS blocks. I'm going to grab my RCS 5-direction block right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's add another one here on the bottom and give it 4-way symmetry. 1, 2, 3, 4-way symmetry. Thank you. Like all the way down to the bottom there. Make sure, yeah, that guy's pretty much in the right spot. I'm going to add 1 to this other guy here. Just like in line with the middle here. Yep. And 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you mean it's not? Why not? Oh, there we go. I was grabbing the wrong part. Is there a way to make tiny engine bells? No? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what that question means. Is there a way to make tiny engine bells? Like, I can make... Let me grab this engine over here. I can make this guy, like, really small like that. If that's what you mean. Or do you mean, like, really tiny engines? Because, like, all right, this is a normal engine, and then I can make it smaller like that. So, I'm not 100% sure I understand the question fully. Need more detail. Please explain. Let's also change the color on these docking ports. I hate the blue as like the default color. I just never been a fan of it. So we're going to paint those gray. If I can select it. There we go. Can I select the other one now? Is it going to let me? Like for RCS. Well, so here's one thought. Is you can do a multi-directional RCS thruster, and I think there may be a way to stop it from gimbaling. Let me look. Let's you and I look. Okay, so there is this part right here. This is a multi-directional RCS thruster, and it has a tiny bell. No, there's no way to stop it from gimbaling. Just change the normal color. No, well, I'm not going to change the normal color because I'm using that blue in other spots. Like here at Blue Origin and there, and I don't want to deal with the hassle. I'm just going to repaint those individual parts. Let's see. What else do we need on a space station? We've got that. We need batteries. We definitely need batteries. Let's add a battery. That's our battery right there. And it weighs 27,000 kilograms. That's too heavy of a battery. Go back. There we go. All right. Well, we need probably a little bit bigger. Let's do that size for now. There is a way to make it do. Yeah, Horizon Innovations, please do share with the class how to do that, because I'm not aware of any way personally to do that. let's click out one. I can like hardly see it. There it is. Okay. And then let's set the primary on that to like a gray. There we go. And then I'm going to copy this and add it here. 2, 3, 4. No, I don't want to do 4 because those are where those are attached. So we'll just leave that there. One click in, couple clicks down maybe. Nope. Couple clicks down. Let's attach those lower. Okay, so those will rotate out. That'll rotate out. Let's make sure the fairing fits it. The fairing fits it beautifully. We've got a little bit of room here. We could make this module longer if we wanted to. I'm not going to at the moment. Oh, as easy as it sounds, you literally just set the XML multi-directional to false. Well, there you go. There you have it, people. That's it. That's all you need. Go do that if you want to make your RCS multi-directional RCS not be multi-directional. That's all you have to do. Yeah, so if you know how to XML edit, just do that. If you don't know how to XML edit, then you should learn how to XML edit because it's a very useful skill, and it allows you to do a lot of cool stuff in the game. There's actually a link to a, well, not like an article, maybe it is technically an article, but basically a how-to guide on XML editing. I think Pedro shared it in the Discord. So if you want to read that and maybe get a little knowledge on how to do it, I would recommend you start there on XML editing. I know a little bit about it. Honestly, I want to get a little better myself at XML editing, and I just haven't. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to scoot that in there a little farther, and then shrink that. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just adding some detail to this. That's literally all I'm doing, is just adding detail. Adding some parts for aesthetic purposes, just making this space station look a little nicer. So that's what we're doing. And right there, corners match, perfect. I need to empty all of these. I just realized. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, and then do these clear? This is too long. This needs to be shorter. Okay, now rotate this around. Now shrink it in. Now scoot it in. Can I scoot this in, please? Right there. Can I move this up one? Ooh, perfect. And then let's move these down one. Ah, perfect. Perfect. That lines up nicely. Okay, so we've got like a little structural grid square around those tanks. That looks really good. I like how that looks. I like it. And what we'll do, I'm going to embed these in just a little bit. We're going to do the exact same thing we just did there for this lower module, but longer. So it needs to be, how long is this? 6, and those are both 2, so this needs to be 10 meters long. We'll do this a little bit more scientifically here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I want to go down. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to grab this part and do the exact same thing I just did. There we go. Rotate that around. How do you feel about seeing your face as a meme a couple of weeks ago? That's actually a great question. It was kind of weird. It was really weird. Not gonna lie. I was like, that's my face. I didn't put it there. I wasn't bothered by it. Because like obviously like these live streams, I'm obviously like sharing my face publicly, so it wasn't like a shock to me that someone had taken a screen capture of a live stream that I did. Like my face is out there, so. But it was a little like kind of a reality check. Like, oh dang, people watch my live streams, and it was just weird. Yeah. Wasn't used to it. Wasn't expecting it when I was browsing Reddit that morning on the toilet. So like that's about the end of that. There. Okay, I think that is a pretty good place to start for our space station. I like those modules. I like how they look, and I think our total mass is pretty good. Oh, Excalibur, that was you? Well, hey, you know what? It was a pretty funny meme. It made me chuckle. I shared it with my family. My dad got a kick out of it. He thought it was like, that's funny. So, yeah, no, like not offended at all, not bothered by it. Was just surprised by it. It was not what I was expecting to see that morning. All right, I think we're ready to launch the space station for real. We've got it pretty much finished up. Let's do a quick overview. We've got 2 hyperbolic antennas. We have 2 solar arrays set up here. And we've got 2 modules. We've got a main module and then like a docking hub module here with radial docking ports. We've got RCS tanks with monopropellant, which honestly I'm going to make these longer. These need to be like 2 meters. Yeah, those need to be longer. Oop, oop. Why is the whole thing moving? Excuse me. Oh, because I grouped it. Right. Duh, I need to ungroup this. I'm silly. There we go. Okay. Now it's ready to launch. Please put the fairing back on. There we go. Fairing is on. And I think everything is ready to go. Let's check our performance. How much total delta V do we have here? 11.7 kilometers per second. That should be enough. We've got a thrust to weight ratio of 2.18 on the pad. That should be enough. I think we're ready to give this a go. I don't really want to tweak the engines. Shoot. Go back. Let's do one thing here. I'm gonna make these detach with a little bit more force so they throw out a little bit stronger. All right. Let's light this candle, everyone. Fast forward here. Let's get some daylight. Perfect. And I'm going to use Slider 1 for this mission. Slider 1 controls the station modules. Throttle up. Lock my heading. We're going to set it to 89 initially, or we'll set it to 90. And then 5 seconds in, I'm going to immediately roll over and start my gravity turn. Orbital velocity, 408 meters per second on the ground right now. Everything is good to go. 3, 2, 1. Engines ignition. Throttle up. And liftoff. We are in the air. Excellent. I'm going to roll my craft around, orient the wings, and then I'm immediately pitching over 5 degrees. And then here in a second, as soon as that catches up, right there, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we'll leave that. I'm going to pitch over 10 degrees, all the way down to 15 degrees now. Throttle down, keep my thrust to weight ratio nice and manageable. Everything's looking good so far. Throttle down a little bit more, keep it at a 2. Alright, we're going to pitch over now to 60 degrees. And we'll maintain that for a little while here. I also, hold on, just realized, RCS should definitely be off. Okay, let's see. Alright, we're going pretty good so far. Apoapsis is up at 72 kilometers. That's good. 75 kilometers. Climbing. Alright, we're going to lock prograde on my orbital velocity vector and maintain that pretty much for the rest of the flight. So I'm not going to have to do any more maneuvering. Just going to be controlling my throttles here. I'm going to throttle down again. Keep my thrust to weight ratio a little lower. Don't need to be burning all my fuel at this stage in the game. And we are out of atmosphere, so I'm deploying my fairings. We are officially in space. Air density is at 0 grams. I'm going to pitch over hard now and throttle up. And what we're going to do is we're going to burn horizontal for a little while here. Basically, all of my velocity is now going lateral at this point, and we're going to try and build up as much speed as possible. We've got a thrust weight ratio of 6 and climbing here, so we are really cruising on this rocket. Everything's looking good. Payload's intact and looking good. We'll get up to about 4,000, maybe even 5,000 meters per second here before we separate and light our second stage. I'm going to point prograde here, though. I want to keep my time to apoapsis over like 2 minutes for this next stage. 3, 2, 1. Main engine cutoff. All right, second stage, separation and ignition. We are going. Second stage is burning. We are at 4.6 kilometers per second now, orbital velocity. And we are well on our way to achieving orbit. I'm going to time warp. We're going 6 times speed now, just trying to burn through this burn. Literally burn through the burn here. 2.1 kilometers, 2 kilometers, 1.9. We're just going to hold that pitch at about 5 degrees there. Everything's looking good. 6 kilometers per second of delta V. Ooh, excuse me. Got like a burp welling up in my esophagus there. Yeah, we're definitely going orbital on this one. 5.2 kilometers per second of delta V left, and we've got plenty of delta V to get this thing into orbit. This whole section is deploying quite nicely. Dirk Cadence, this game feels like a significantly further development of Kerbal, and it's a shame there's still so little content on YouTube or Twitch. Really great that you make cool videos for it. Thanks. Hey, I really appreciate the praise, man. Making these videos is my hobby, and I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoy the feedback I get from you guys. You guys are what makes YouTube worth it for me, because it's just fun. I'm monetized now for the first time, and it is really just because I enjoy it that I'm doing it. So thank you. I appreciate it so much. Here, we're going to approach our circularization burn here. Let me pull up my flight view. So I've got my orbital data. Apoapsis 266 kilometers, periapsis 168. We're going to ignite our engines here. Bring our periapsis up to match. Boom! 266.8, 266.2. Almost a perfectly circular orbit. Deploy our payload, and then we're going to take control of it from here. And let's activate everything. First thing we're going to do is deploy our solar panels. Nice, everything's looking good so far. Awesome, okay, and then activate group 1. Nope. Okay, so I probably should have inverted those, but that's fine. Those have deployed successfully. Now I'm going to manually, just because I screwed up the direction on these, I'm going to manually deploy these pistons, if I can grab it. If it'll let me. There we go. Slider 1. Boom. Off. Okay, so that one's deployed. Let me go grab the other one here. Activate that one. Slide it out. Deactivate it. Boom. Look at that. That is a respectable station right there if I've ever seen one. We have RCS thrusters. Not going to use them. Actually, going to turn them off. Can I use them? Yeah. Okay, so I can use them. They work. Let's lock prograde for now. Or actually, let's lock radially out for our station here. No, I've changed my mind. We'll go prograde. That looks best. And then as soon as we're locked prograde, I'm going to turn off my RCS and just let this coast for a while. But that looks so good. I'm so happy with how that looks. Give it a little twist here. Beautiful. Let's turn off RCS. And let's just turn off the UI. Let's just look at this. Let's look at our creation. I'm very happy with how this looks. I'm very happy with how that turned out. That's a decent space station for relatively little work put into putting it together. All right. Thank you guys so much, Excalibur. I see you're calling off. Well, it's all right because I'm calling off too. Thank you guys so much for joining in on tonight's live stream. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. There's going to be a lot of videos coming out this week and next week while I've got my downtime. So hey, I will see you in the next video. You guys take care and have a great rest of your week and a Merry Christmas. Goodbye.